my intro and stuff like that. And
Welcome, everybody.
welcome. Glad everybody's in here for a new Sunday podcast. So we got Deb Ryan, Denise Coons, Max Powers, one of our lovely
Moderators.
Squatchaholic, Chris
Chris here.
Marola. Yep, Chris is here. Starting out with a great group in the chat already, man. So, we got a little bit of an intro to do, but I think I'm gonna take a couple minutes and let some more people kind of funnel in here, and so yeah, we're going. This is going to be a sensitive, probably a sensitive subject for a few. I know there's already a few people in the chat that it's not gonna affect them at all. But this chat, this podcast, it could be a little sensitive, to people. I'm not. Part of this podcast is that we take all aspects of Bigfoot phenomenon. Like I said, we've said it before, since the beginning, from the flesh and blood to the woo, basically. Mm-hmm. And we're getting that this one is going to be the other end of that spectrum. So
what's that, Parkway?
Basically, let's keep the chat clean. Let's not involve any kind of religion or politics with this. It has nothing to do with any of that. These are strictly experiences that people have had, bringing their evidence forward and putting it out to the public. Yep. So that's all it is.
We're open to all evidence.
Yeah, we're open to all evidence. It's all about the evidence. It's all about the experiences. And for this particular chat, let's keep it clean. Let's be open-minded and be respectful. So,
she's here. So ready?
Yep. So everybody, please welcome our guest for tonight, Rachel from Into the Veil. And
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, happy Father's Day to everybody. I forgot about that.
Hell yeah.
Being a stepfather and all. This episode is like I said, the other end of the spectrum. And we're going to delve into a little bit of the supernatural side of Sasquatch with Rachel and her fabulous channel, Into the Veil.
And also, I have an answer. I have to be off at 6. I've been warned.
Yes. We need to keep it close to an hour long. I have my daughter's cooking me Father's Day dinner.
Yeah, Kevin's wife warned me.
Yeah. 6 o'clock. So, but we will definitely have you on again in the future.
Yeah.
We can pick.
Yep. Anytime.
So, Rachel. I mean, you're an empath. You've worked with, police departments and stuff like that, and solving missing people, and you're pretty accomplished in that department. What age? When did you know that you had something different than other people going on? Take us back.
It's kind of hard to pin, because I think when we're young, we think that everybody's the same. We don't really realize people are different. And, probably when I was about 9, was when a lot of my dream work and other weird things would happen. And I had an old Scotch Irish grandmother that would help me through a lot of that. They very much believed in parts of the esoteric, so it made it easier for me. But there again, another reason not to think that I was any different. Probably not until I was upwards of 15 did I start really having random precognitive stuff happening. And then when I was 18, 19, it really started opening, you know. There again, I still don't really see it as being different. I've been blessed.
Well, you're not different. You just have it. You were just gifted with a very unique talent. You know, everybody has talents. So this is your talent.
Yeah. So, you know, I think I finally reconciled in my 20s and 30s that it was meant to be for some reason or another. And it's been used for a variety of things. I do a lot of intuitive counseling one-on-one with people, especially grief counseling when they've lost somebody. There again, the police departments, we've had a few situations we've been able to help out on where they were missing, you know, people. And those get to be long stories. They're good stories, but they're long stories. I did some work for a time as a medical intuit, where they were having trouble pinpointing certain illnesses or being able to cure them. And so some of that gets into the layers beneath what causes illness. And also, if there's a spot on the body, as an empath, you kind of take on the energy of whatever the focus is. And for me, if I have permission to do that, it's very easy. I don't ever find myself inclined to do it unless somebody is asked or unless I have specific permission.
So this is, you're not walking around in public and just picking up on stuff. But that's good.
No, I don't think my brain is big enough.
I watch one of your videos where you're walking out there with Ken. What is that noise in my ear? I hear something going. And you were like, yeah, I almost tell you to slow down because it seemed like the Bigfoots were getting all your attention. Like you just kept on going. Like, are they like that where they can just take up all your time when you're out there? And what do you feel when you're out there? How do you know they're talking to you? Like, what do you feel?
You know, after being out there for a while, I think it's a familiarity in that space that's different than any other space. Trying to think of a good example, but you know, energy almost has a smell to it. And I don't know how to really explain that well, but good, bad, or indifferent, each has its own signature. And for me, I think I became aware of that energy. And so it was very easy to connect to it when we finally did, but we've been going out there for months before channeling or Anku or any of that really started happening. But I think it took adjusting for them and us. It's for me to try to tell somebody else what they're looking for in their energy is very difficult. I know that Anku, and we've said it, I think, even on Ken's videos, he's very electrical. And you know how after a storm or before, well, you guys wouldn't have tornadoes, but there's a sense of electricity in the air, and that's the way it feels when he's very close. It just feels charged.
That's crazy.
Fortunately, not lightning bolt charged.
So, regarding Anku, did he just kind of come to you, or did you actually just kind of say, "Hey, I wonder if I can, talk to them"?
I don't know if it's... Okay, ask me again.
You hear something too?
Yeah, it's static.
Yeah, I hear it too. I'm trying to figure out if it's me or not.
Be prepared. It's probably going to be like that.
Okay. Oh,
That's weird.
yeah, it is. Like, and speaking with Anku, did you just kind of get a thought in your head that, hey, I wonder if I could talk to him, or did he come to you?
It seems to me that we were working on a video and we were questioning something. And all of a sudden the answer was just like, boom, right there. And I knew it wasn't me. I mean, it was just one of those things that it kind of just felt like it flew in out of nowhere. Shortly after that, we did the first attempt at communicating with him via channeling, which we had never tried before, and I wasn't sure if it would work or not. I knew that I had worked as a medium to channeling, however, with this content interviews, especially for grief counseling, but I wasn't sure because he didn't feel dead to me, number one, and I didn't know what to expect. But as soon as Ken started asking questions, and those had sourced from a video where we said if you could sit down at a table and have a conversation, ask questions, what would you ask? So we pulled, those questions. And it just, I don't know, it just flowed. It just was easy. But I think he was ready. I think he was kind of pushing that. Somehow I feel like those buttons were being pushed toward it. But he had been gone more than he had been there. Most of our experience with him had been around for the week of, like a few days before, a few days after, and then nothing. And then all of a sudden, boom, he was right there. And he had... So I don't know what kind of business he put together bringing him back.
I don't know where this noise is coming from.
I don't either. It almost sounds like someone's on a microphone somewhere.
Do you have a headset?
Ken's going to turn his phone off and see if that might be creating interference.
It might be because it sounds like a little rat just like nibbling out a microphone somewhere,
Right.
And we can barely hear you.
So,
Let me
ask him to send the link to my email.
He's asking if you would send a link to Ken's email and
Okay.
see if that's...
Okay, let me try that.
I get a lot of this. I shoot a television.
All right, let me
Let me run and grab that headset. We'll see if that helps real quick.
Okay.
yeah, that noise is... You're right. It sounds like a little rat nibbling on something.
Yeah. What was his email? Do you remember? I had so many emails in here.
Ken's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll text it to you real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah,
it?
Papa Bear Can
Okay.
65.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got it.
We will take this time
Okay. I
to
sent
thank
it.
Parkway for joining us, and Rowan King. I think we all know who that is. Yeah. Thank everybody in the chat for joining us tonight. And,
Yeah, it's hers because I muted hers and I don't hear it. So, okay.
Gremlins in the camera. Maybe it's Junior.
Hey, Junior's probably doing
It's Junior chewing on the plastic part of a peanut butter cup.
Do not
That's
talk
what
about
it
me.
is. It's Junior chewing on the plastic. He's listening to the frickin' podcast.
He sure is. Okay, here we are. Let's see. Okay. Hey, it's not there anymore. Where'd it go?
Wait a minute.
All right, make
Hopefully
kick.
it's gone.
Yeah.
Sorry about
Okay.
All right, we're back.
All right, we're straightened.
Yep, we're all straight. So
Oh,
at least until Junior finds this signal.
Yeah.
And
that sounds all right.
Yeah.
blame here. He gets to blame for everything.
I know.
Poor guy.
Right. So you've been talking to Anku, and Anku's been very more than forthcoming with you, and it's become like a friendship. You know what I mean? And Junior too. I mean, he's just a total jokester, prankster. You know what I mean? So
and Mom was up for the first time this week.
Yeah.
Surprised me.
Yeah. I think you're getting the whole family here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have 2 ears to accommodate one mouth.
Right.
Which one's louder?
I could only imagine that when you walk out there, it's just like, yeah, here they come, and it's like it's almost like they swarm you and just and you're like, hold on, 1 minute, one at a time, everybody. You know? Yeah. You know.
Babies are the 2 that are just under Junior are the worst right now because they just are excited for attention. But we went through that with him some. But now they talk to us at home. They talk to us.
That was my next question. No, that's what my next question was. Yeah, I was wondering if they do that while you're at home, or are you able to just turn it off and on, or it just happens?
I can.
Yeah.
I have to really, really, for lack of a better way to put it, bring down some walls to block.
Oh.
But it's nothing. I mean, it's nothing bad to do that. I just have to remember to do that if I want sanctity or sacred space.
Yeah.
And they're not trying to be invasive. I mean, it would seem like they are. But if we have a question, we immediately get. I mean, it's just boom, boom. It just feels like ping pong.
Little brats, huh?
And it's not a bad thing.
No, they have nothing else to do.
You know? Well, I mean, I think they have lots to do. But,
but what's new is her.
Right, exactly. She's the.
Yeah,
she's the.
I had to back off on the wee people because I thought, this is a lot right now. I need to spend some time adjusting to one before I start opening doors to another. And because there are so many realms out there, if you start opening doors, whether people realize it or not, they're a little like portals in that regard, then it's just like a super highway. And I just felt the conviction to really, really kind of ground my energy and get good and specific with one so that I could identify and be correct. I don't ever want to misinform anybody.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
You know, obviously, you know, I mean, doing all this takes a lot out of you and stuff like that.
It's better now. At first it was tricky, but now it's kind of like there's a little bit of a melding between the energies, like just a strip where it's not overwhelming. Or, you know, the first couple of times I was getting headaches and I was just tired for 2 days and then I was fine. But now I don't get any headaches and I'm not tired.
That's great.
That's good. That's good.
Huh.
I know you've got a question. I can feel it. Me too.
Well, I'm hearing Junior again in my ear.
Yeah, we got this static again too. So
Yeah. So,
you just take him over there for a little while.
yeah. I mean, I've got lots of questions. I have nowhere. It's so. I don't know where to start. You know what I mean? It's like my head is swirling, and I'm just trying to grab one. You know. So.
With those rods that I got from you guys, I wanted to try to do it, but I don't know what to do with them. Yeah, like what's the basics that you do when you take those out?
So I've got a set here. Hang on. So with any dowsing rods, these swivel. They're not the traditional, like it used to be a peach branch or willow branch, and it would bend down toward the water. Or these swivel.
Right.
So a little limited for space here, but if you put them in front of you, and for me, I would say, in your case, I would say, could you please show me yes? And for me, this is correct. It goes to my left shoulder. For you, it might be a little different.
Oh, okay.
But remember what it gives you.
Okay, I see.
And a no, that was my fault. But a no traditionally goes to my left shoulder. You know, if you're in like if I really wanted to pinpoint where they were in the woods,
yeah.
Like now they're turning way behind me.
Well, they're over there, yeah, for sure.
So you would ask certain questions that you know the answer to and kind of gauge it. But everything for me is through feeling. So sometimes if they cross or they do something random, I have to kind of feel out what that's meaning.
Okay. So your yes and no could be different than mine, depending on what they want. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So figure out what figure out what they want or how they say yes and no before I ask a bunch of questions.
And like I said, I would do that. I would tune them to things you know the answers to.
Oh, okay.
If I lose something here at the house or whatever, you know, I'll even use it. Tell me where it's at on that point until I get where it is. Yeah, we're trying to pinpoint where this static is coming from. My phone's off, so.
Well, I think I know exactly where it's coming from.
Maybe if I push it back.
Were you out in the woods restocking the convenience tree before you came in?
Earlier this morning.
Oh, earlier this morning. So, I mean, chances are all the stuff you put out there is gone already.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's. I mean, it really sounds like Junior chewing on plastic.
Over here, it just sounds like I don't know.
Whatever. It's just. I'm sure it's probably just a lot of energy in your area. You know what I mean? You know, between you and between them and between the woods, it's just a flood of energy. So.
Ken says it might have something to do with the next video that's coming up.
Maybe. So I think he gave me a little hint about it earlier today, and I just said, no spoilers. I want to watch it, so I don't know.
It's no joke.
But yeah.
I'll try to yell. I know.
And even even in some of your videos and stuff, I pick up, on just little subtle like things that you might do, like put your hand flat down on something, and then all of a sudden you just kind of stare off in the little space a little bit. It's like you're thinking, So I know you're picking up the energy, you know what I mean? You're trying to, feel it out.
Because instinctually, I'm always looking up and out, because that's where I'm used to information coming in. And so I don't try to do that. It's just a habit. It's a horrible habit. A lot of things are very subconscious. I don't really think about doing things. So sometimes I'll have my hands going here, there, and yonder, and then I'll catch myself.
Yeah. It's feeding time for the dog. She's a little excited.
Oh yeah, it's 5:30.
Yep, 5:30 on the dot. It's like freaking clockwork. So we got Pappy Two Bears over here in the chat. He says, I use a pendulum the same way. So I'm assuming he uses a pendulum the same way that you use dowsing rods. Right?
You can.
Yeah. And it swings in a different direction, right? Which kind of tells you.
I have a pendulum. I just, for whatever reason, kind of connected to the rods and have had really good results with them. So that's what I stuck to. But yes, a pendulum does work the same way.
Nice.
I used to predict, if women would have to read and so on, and they'd take a wedding ring and hang it on a string or anything.
Right. There's obviously a lot of questions that people want answered and stuff like that. And you got to kind of, feed people, teaspoons at a time, because you don't want to overload, people with too much information that they can't handle.
You can ask a question. If it's something that would take a long time, then we can avoid it. I know you guys have plans.
Yeah. Well, just
pretty short and sweet with most things.
Those electric meters that you guys been using out there? The electric meters? I don't know what you call it. It's for energy. For the arches or the for the little stick structures and stuff like that. Which one sends out more energy?
The EMF detector?
Yeah.
That was a fun experiment. We didn't know what to expect from that. But between the rods and the EMF detector, one was kind of confirming the other.
Mm-hmm.
But to see what the arches generated versus the ground glyphs versus some of the standing glyphs, that was fun.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I had never seen that before, and how you guys are doing that. It's pretty neat.
I really, and I was surprised at the range.
Mm-hmm.
The big arch, fire it shot. And I really think that all of these things, whether it's a structure designed for if they want to sit, the way it was kind of being shown was that it was designed to frame in their energy, because if they're in a non-physical state, they don't have a lot of structure to their energy.
Oh, okay.
Very, they're not just large physically; they're even bigger energetically.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so the arches were in proximity to whomever they were built for, and the EMF seemed to go up and down depending on the size of the arch.
That's pretty cool.
So I
And
took that much for them to be able to use it according to their size and or, you know.
do you ever go out there and then the arch is gone?
Not yet.
No. I was kind of wondering what the energy would be like, or if it's even still there when you go back. You know.
That's a good point. Yeah. So far, they've left all the arches. I mean, we'll find additions.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, we had to kind of quit that day because it just got overwhelming to realize just we're going to step through the wrong one here. And I think at one point, that one that read over 200, I think Kenny's like,
yeah.
coming through.
Yeah, like I'm wondering when you're going to disappear in one of them, you know?
Right?
You're like, poof.
But yeah, it was kind of, that was a fun experiment.
Yeah, that was pretty neat though. I like that. That was pretty cool.
Actually, or at least these guys are very communicative. They love, Anku especially loves to teach and share. Loves to, if somebody has a legitimate question, he's really good at calling BS, I think. You know, if it's not a legitimate
Yeah.
he tends to be very poor. See if this helps.
Hey, there you go. Headset. Whoa.
Can you hear me?
Hey.
Hello.
Oh, yeah, it's way better.
Yay, toast. So far.
Sound like you're in the phone.
I don't know what's.
Yeah,
I'm
way
telling
better.
you, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, look like Kevin came back now.
Well, no, I'm muted
like-
my mic because my wife and daughter and everybody's in and out of the house, and then you get the slam of the door, and
It's that kind of day.
bad enough I got that dang bird behind me, but whatever.
Aw.
It's all right. It's,
No,
it's
but
beautiful.
you know,
Beautiful during the day when I'm not doing this, but Sundays between
right?
5 and 6, it needs to. But whatever, it's all good. All right.
Put them on a clock.
That's
I
right.
know.
So I think that if anybody's able to develop a relationship, they would have the ability to have the same communication. I don't know that you have to be a natural channel or medium or
Yeah.
to have these experiences.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're all able to receive thought. We're all able to get feeling.
Yeah.
But it does seem to, you know, these guys are really specific about keeping the heart space open. And when I say he's good at calling BS, I think that it has to do with whether I'm feeling it or not, whether I'm feeling the question, whether I really have that curiosity within me.
Right. Yeah, that's what me and Kevin was talking about when I was there. I was thinking maybe they only let you know what you're ready for. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't see certain things as I don't think I'm ready for it. Maybe they don't think I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think that's pretty cool myself.
Yeah, me too.
And sometimes they'll show one version and then show a bigger version.
Right.
So if you're not really ready for the whole big quantum thing,
yeah,
they'll give you a smaller example to process.
Right. Yeah, that's what we were looking at the bush and saw eyeball. And I'm not ready for anything more than that. And I know it. And I think they knew it, you know, and that was enough for me. But that just showed me.
I just keep waiting for these guys to come on out and start posing.
Oh, heck no, man.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that day too. That is for sure. It's kind of funny. As soon as we walked in the gate with me and Lewis in my area, I mean, right off the bat, I mean, I know that they come right by that gate and they follow me in. I know they do. I can feel them. You know what I mean? I can hear them. And as soon as we walked up to an area, he just stopped and he's all, this area right here. They're
Yeah. They're
and I'm
there,
all,
and I
yeah,
felt it.
they're following us up. They know, you know.
You know, and it's enough to have on Ku's willingness. But when Mama started kind of, and you can see her in places with the two youngest babies, like one in each arm, and she's just plop. And she's big for a female. I mean, it was what I saw walking between trees was big, but it was some distance. I didn't realize just how big that woman is. I was like, oh my goodness. But the day that we saw her front and center in the middle of our, like virtually in the middle of our path before it veered off, probably, I'm going to say about 15 feet, 10 to 15 feet in front of us,
Good night.
was the day I knew we were golden.
Yeah.
Because she
yeah.
trusted us enough to have those little tiny babies
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And it just, I don't know, gave me warm fuzzies.
Yeah. If anybody in the
Yeah.
chat has a question for her, just put it in caps for us, and I'll put it up for you.
Yeah. So I think, you know, I mean, there's I think you've touched base on this on your channel and stuff, that there are different types, but they're all of the same species, right? They're all the same, but you know, they're you know, some look different, and you know,
some
some
of them
act different.
He's showing me that some of them are like cousins. They're technically the same species, but there's something a little different about a couple of them. And I don't, it could be line breeding, it could be anything, you know. But they do have like a multicultural feel. And I've even picked up on that with Anku and Mama. They look very different. Very different.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that still strike me curious.
Right.
But it feels like there's, honestly, like the number 12 is very strong, like 12 different types, and they might not all be exactly the same.
Right.
But there's that many, you know, types.
Yeah. Yeah. When you talk to
So-
Sasquatch, what do you feel?
See any of those questions?
Immense respect between us. It's not just us. It's kind of a exchange. And although we don't have an official greeting, it's almost like when I step into that energy or it steps into mine, it's almost just this recognition. It's almost, it's very honoring. They're very honoring of life. And it's very warm for me. My experience has been very welcoming, which I'm grateful for. And I don't honestly think that you could connect with them that way unless they really wanted it. So it would make sense, you know. And sometimes he cuts me short. Like he can tell it's too much for me if I keep going.
Huh. That's interesting, huh? I wish I knew how that felt, but I had no idea. I think that's why people think it's kind of strange or different, because to us that's what it feels like, because you know we're not
And
used
it
to
is
that.
strange.
Yeah.
It is different. I
Yeah.
mean, I'll be the first one to say, you know, I've met a lot of strange in my life, but this is definitely.
Yeah, but you're used to it. You've been doing it since you were 9, you know. So
Well,
yeah,
she's had
but
the
I don't
gift
know if
since she
you're-
was 9, but
Right.
she's only been playing with Anku and Junior and stuff for what, less than a year now.
yeah, but she's been doing it
Since
for the
last
police
fall.
department, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. It's basically the same thing, but just now it's just with the monster.
They're
I
not
can't see 'em.
monsters. They are
Mhm.
not monsters. They are people.
Yeah.
And
Honestly, I believe they can be. I believe that
Well, everybody can be a
if they,
monster.
right. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think that it's fair to put them in one class or another. I think
Yeah.
each situation has no different than people. I think each situation has to be handled for what it is.
Right.
And, you know, it's, you get what you earn. And I think that's been kind of prevalent for us. But we've had to be very consistent. Consistency, asking permission. If
Mm.
there's any question, err on the side of asking permission. It's not hurting anything, and you just only have to mentally ask. You don't have to verbally walk around and let people see you talking to thin air, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
But I would err on the safety side.
that's
Yeah.
funny that you say that. Don't walk around letting people, see you talking to thin air and stuff. And it's like, well, I mean,
You do it all the time, don't you?
Lewis saw this yesterday and stuff when he went out. And on our way out from our adventure, I haven't posted all the videos yet, so I'm not going to give that up. But on our way out, obviously, I had to stop by and put some apples out and stuff like that. And he saw me. I walked up to the same spot I always do and say, "Hi, people. I'm here. I brought you new apples. I brought you more apples. I'm going to go put them out." And I go right back there and stuff like that. And I do that every time I go out there. And from the first time I went out there and got growled at and got the screenshots, which was absolute definite proof, okay,
Mhm.
they're here.
Mhm.
The second time I went out, I mean, I was on edge.
Yeah.
I was on edge because now I know they're there.
Right.
So now I'm out there with them. I'm on edge. And you know what I mean? And it just, but what a lot of people don't know is that me and Rachel have had some private conversations and about my area, and she has helped me with a lot of stuff. And since we've been doing that, I walk up and I get this welcoming feeling. You know what I mean? I'm not on edge. I
Yeah.
just, like you told me to do, Rach, dismiss the fear, just go. And that's what I do now. I just go. And
You know, and it's very important that people realize that fear is this thing with them. There's two things. Number one, it smell when I said energy smells, fear smells like nothing else. And they'll have it that fast. But if you really want to look at the paranormal side of Sasquatch, the teachers like the Ankus out there, they will use your fear. They will pull out some things in you that you didn't even know existed. You didn't even know why they existed, but they do. And they will bring that front and center like you're looking in a mirror in the weirdest ways.
Yeah.
And they use humor, they use all kinds of things. But they will have you confront those things within you that nothing else can make you confront.
Mm. Yeah.
I saw a question from Max, and there may have been another.
No, I
I'm
think
having
that
trouble
was,
seeing it from here.
yes, it's what are the thumps, shadows, and the breathing right behind you.
Wants to know what the thump shadows and the
So
visible thumps and shadows.
when you say thumps, are you talking chest thump, or are you talking tree thump,
Or the foot thumps on the ground.
or foot thumps? They do lots of thumping.
They got a lot of
or
thumping.
they may be talking about Ken that's behind the camera.
Breath is
So
What's that, kid?
the invisible thumps, shadows, and the breath on the back of your neck.
Most often,
Oh,
what's that, Lewis?
I was listening to him talking behind you.
Yeah.
Ken was talking, yeah.
So we've only really had that when we first started going out, especially on our night walks, maybe 1 or 2 day walks. And I want to say that then for us it was Junior. But a lot of times what I find is it's them.
Mm.
And for us, it was a way to present. We were talking about fear.
Mhm.
It was a way to see exactly what we were afraid of, or if they could get fear out of us.
Mm.
So there are other things out in nature that can present shadows. I don't want you to be alluded to believe that everything that has a shadow or breathes on your neck is Sasquatch.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
But use your instincts. You'll know. If the
Right.
hair stands up on the back of your neck and Sasquatch is the first thing that comes to your mind, it's probably them. At this point, we probably would turn around and go, what do you want? But
Yeah.
that doesn't mean it would have started that way, because, when we had the rocks throwing into the pond and stuff like that, oh my God, my heart was jumping straight out of my chest.
Uh-huh.
And they were falling right in front of us, and none of them falling near us.
Right.
But I had to really look at that and go, I do have a little fear here. And
Right.
once I got past that, they didn't do it again.
Yeah.
Right.
So I like testing the water to see if my theories are correct.
Yeah. Just don't drown.
Right.
Right?
Right. I mean,
If you have aggressive growling or aggressive limb throwing or rock throwing right at you, don't turn around and face anything. I mean, weigh it, judge it, measure it.
Yeah.
What?
Run like heck.
no, yeah, that would definitely be Lewis's first choice to do. I'm out, pew, gone.
Right.
I'll be back later though.
And I've been in some situations, and I mean, there's a low level of fear. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I've been walking up a trail, and I've gotten a growl and an instant branch break, and I didn't run. I put my hands up. I'm like, hey, I'm not here to hurt you, but just trying to get through here. You know what I mean? The one in my area where I first discovered the ones in my new area, I came around a bush, and I no one walks off trail there except for me. I'm the only crazy guy out there in the bushes. And when I come out of the bushes and people see me, they're giving me the weirdest looks. But
yeah, they did. They give me we're creepy.
Lewis
creepy when I came out of the bushes.
Yeah, Lewis experienced that yesterday, and
like a pervert when I came out.
That
there.
one
like,
growled
what?
at me, and I moved to the side away from it, but I didn't run. I turned around. You know what I mean? So I think that was kind of okay.
Well, you can
this
kind
guy
of feel
ain't
the
running
growl,
from
too.
us, so
There's differences in their growls. When we first started and we got too close to like Mama and the babies, we'd hear a growl, but our instincts told us that was the kind of growl to clear space from. But then, like Junior, sometimes he'll give a light growl, and it's almost a grunt, like a cross between a grunt and a growl, and it feels very much like, hey, or I'll say, Junior, where are you at? And I'm just looking around the woods, and all of a sudden I'll hear it, and it's just him confirming I'm here.
Oh, that's crazy.
So you have to learn to feel a lot.
So that's what Chris was saying. Yeah, he was saying the communication is you're having.
It's very much like mind speak, to answer Chris's question.
Yeah.
There might be minuscule difference in it, really.
Right. But you gotta know what that is, or to to siphon which way
For me, the line I draw is when I'm dealing with someone that's lost a parent or friend, and I'm doing the grief counseling. To me, that's more channeling because they're already on the other side. With these guys, they're very much alive. So to a degree, it's channeling, but it's more like the mind speak in that it's just easy for them to communicate, and I probably use the same facet of my brain to do it.
Right.
But I find, it's a little bit different, a little bit.
Yeah.
So here's something I would like to kind of pick your brain about. Like the aggressive encounters, or things, they're growling and throwing stuff. Are those more of like the old school type, that just, kind of like an old dog, set in its ways, you know what I mean? And that's just the way they are. And then the ones that like Onku and Junior, kind of like a new school kind of type that just like want to communicate with us and
The way he shows it to me is that, one second. It would be, he's saying worldwide, not just here.
right.
Some have experienced a lot of fighting with man
Okay.
over generations, like since the beginning,
Right.
way back.
Right.
And, okay, so they also have cellular memory. Their DNA, isn't like, they have direct access to their history.
Right.
Whereas ours is there, but it's kind of like like our DNA is twisted and turned, and we have to dig a little deeper to get to it, but we actually have access to it. He's saying theirs is very direct. So even if it's been a long time ago, they have remembrance. Maybe the one that's aggressive with you today wasn't the one that fought with man. But that's what's in his coding. That's what's in his DNA to say that man is an enemy. Whereas, like our type would be something more similar to the ones that had trading or positive Native American relationships, or, there's not that message within them that says they're cautious, but that there's not that message there that says we're going to attack them.
Right.
So my approach would be, if you have one that's aggressive, even if only in thought, probably at least 3 times, I would approach that space saying, I understand that you've had a bad experience. Just take it for granted that they have.
Right.
You don't have to know what that experience was.
No, you just need to know that they've had a bad experience with humans, and
then maybe, say that would not be my intention. I would like whatever you would like out of it. And with 2 or 3 times, and they feel that intention being consistent, that's the key. You have to be consistent. You have to be respectful. And you have to ask permission. And not in that order. It's actually backward. But if you can do that, it establishes a little bridge that can grow, and strengthen. But the first time you go out there yelling, screaming, carrying a weapon, and they're toward them, in other words, I don't even think something that would say the opposite, then they're not going to trust that you meant it. So it's kind of about what we're prepared to do or not prepared to do also. And some of them take work. Some of them take a lot of work.
Yeah.
We just happen to get lucky with these guys.
Right. Bama Bigfoot over here in the chat says, why do they pick people to see them?
Why can some see them and some can't?
Well,
Is that the question?
that's kind of what it sounds like. It says, they pick who they show themselves to. And I think, again, like you just said, it's all about your emotional attention. It's all about your energy, and it's all about how much they think you can handle.
And there's a few different things as far as them being physically present. I think that if they're young, near where you are, the females will be more inclined to show themselves as a distraction. Um, the the more, I'm trying to think of the easiest way to explain this. So when we're very rooted in the material world, our experience with them is likely to be the more physical version. Just remember, like attracts like. It's not opposites attract as far as energy goes. But as you evolve with them, then I call them squatch eyes. You have to learn to put your squatch eyes on so that you can see more than just the obvious.
Makes sense.
And when you get to that place, you cannot not see them anymore. There's something that happens. And sometimes they'll show more physically and sometimes it's more energetically, but either way, you can't not see them. And I don't know if it's in the acknowledgement. We were kind of talking about, like, if you get a new car and you're sure that's the only car that's going to be on the road like that because you haven't seen one anywhere. And then you get the car and all of a sudden they're everywhere.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
It's so disappointing.
Yeah,
But it's
I've
something in that
experienced that.
awareness. It's something in our awareness, in our minds, that opens the ability to see what's in our space that we missed before.
Yeah.
Right. So we
And I
have to
hope that
open
answers.
ourselves up in order to see more out there.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, this
Yeah.
has been
That's crazy.
a super fast hour. I mean,
Well, this is part one.
yeah. We would love to reschedule you again for sure, and if you're willing to do so. And
Bring your questions.
I know a lot of people have questions and stuff like that, and they want to know everything, but at the same time, I'm with Anku on this. You got to give them just what they can handle.
Yeah.
Little bits by little bits,
And the thought's coming to me that, and I don't know if there's maybe a couple in the chat that are having problems around their homes. It's very important that you set boundaries. Very important, because most of the conflict, if people are having trouble right at or near their homes, it's boundary issues.
Right.
So,
right?
that can be a number of things, but it's very important to negotiate those boundaries.
I think one of those people in the chat is probably going to be Bama. She made a comment in one of her last videos and stuff that kind of concerned me. But
well, and just remember, they may have been there a long time before that house was even built,
right,
or
right,
put there. So 99.9% of the time, we don't consider that we're doing anything wrong when we build a home or take that space.
right.
But
right.
most of them, I feel, if there's some attempt at communicating and saying, I understand this happened, now what can we do to resolve it? Most of them would rather resolve it.
Right. Yeah. Well, we are up on our hour. I want to thank you for joining
Absolutely.
us.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
I hope everybody has a great Father's Day. And
Oh, yeah.
if you're cooking out.
yeah, I think my daughter's going to be making me barbecue carne asada or pollo asada tacos.
I should have came today.
Tacos, Ken.
I know. So
Ken's on
if
his
you're,
way. He said tacos.
Yeah, I'll be on my way now.
On the way. I'll save him some.
Thanks, Rachel. I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. We have
There's the
scratch.
moon.
There he is.
He's all.
There he is. No, thank you both.
There you are.
Thanks for being
Absolutely.
technical support, Ken.
Yeah.
And we'd love to have you.
Tacos.
Man.
I said tacos, so now it looks like you're going to get tacos. Well, off to the taco stand. All right, everybody. Rachel,
All right.
thank you. We love to reschedule you again. I'll be in contact with you.
All right, everybody, have a great one.
Yeah, everybody have a great Father's Day. And good night. We'll see you next Sunday.
All right. See you guys.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.